This is an instructional series brought to you by the People Embracing Change Tribe. Welcome to our site.
What we do at People Embracing Change is at least what we do core teaching for people. We try to teach techniques, tips, tricks, techniques that we've learned from around the world that should improve whatever practice you have, because we don't care as long as the stuff works. If you involve the gods or anything else in your practice and how you work these things, that's your choice. And we're all up for that. We're all up for you having an open and honest relationship with absolutely everything. And this will be part of the presentation as well. So thank you for it. I'm glad you've been enjoying Mystic South. Everything's been awesome. I found some of the classes absolutely awesome, some of the rituals great. I'm Bill Hegman. I go by Arkenstone just about everywhere on social media. My fellow tribe members and elders are Bear and Lady Ursa. They are to keep me on track, and he's probably going to throw in a few stories towards the end, because I have a few of my own, but I need to get through the material. So let's have a level set. Who here already does some dream or plane walking? Okay. Looking for better, and then this is going to be one of these type of things. Looking for better navigation, or compare notes, tricks, tips, navigation, memory processing. Okay. Who here does astral projection and astral traveling? Okay, you know the difference between them. Okay, great. Navigation, memory processing, dealing with a day 1, 2, or 3 energy crash. Okay, I will cover this and how to deal with it. And I'm not saying astral projection is, or traveling is necessarily bad. It is a step to develop the skills. And it's also helped to understand how we interact with energy. So I'm not a big proponent of it because I've done it, but I can teach you how to do it, and it's necessary to know how to do it. Who's here working on the lucid dreaming aspect? Okay. Navigation, learning to actually process information. Okay. We'll cover that.
We think that that's what we're doing, but we're not quite sure.
Processing information?
Lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of this, you'll figure out whether you're lucid dreaming, astral traveling, or what I call aspecting. And I'm going to teach aspecting because it's a great way to help preserve your own energy. Now, I come from a very mixed background. I work with Taoist concept of dealing with concepts of energy, because all I have to do is just tense my body, ping you, and I could probably get a flash of form from you. But I also believe in dealing and accumulating spirit essence, okay? And the thing is, I try to protect this. And with the energy, we can work with essence. You know, most people work with yang type of energy in circles. They're moving essence because you're actually stirring up and pulling up essence energy. How you manage it and cultivate it and work it is all part of a core class I teach on energy accumulation and management methodology. I don't have time to go into that today. I'm hoping all of you at least do core meditation. I hope that you do active meditation of owning your own mind, making your own choices, not what is you, what's not you, mind, thoughts, and emotions, and letting go what's not. And the reason why I say it that way, because I say center first on who you are. Let go what's not you. This is how people say ground and center. I say no, center and ground. My point of view may differ. Your mileage may vary. Try it out for your own. See if it makes sense to you. That's all I can say about how I approach things. So Not only do I think about center and grounding, I also do body scanning. Every cubic inch of my body. When I get to that place where I know who is me, and I let go of what's not me, I pay attention to energy, every cubic inch. If you have somebody that does a path working to help you focus on that, whether it's path working or a bija mantra or whatever, so that you can be aware of every cubic inch of your body and how that energy is at any time of the day, by just learning how to still your breath like you're in a standard meditation. So you use that core meditation technique to be able to just scan your body. Are you okay? Are you okay for the moment and what you're dealing with? So let me go and how to accumulate energy. Hopefully these techniques will help you identify core energy for you along your travels, how to manipulate it, how to work with it. All right. We'll start with lucid dreaming first because that's the jump off point. Who here knows what dreaming is for us animals? Who knows? Any idea?
What it does to us?
What is dreaming for animals? Scientists have already proven it in the past couple of years. Dreaming is for survival rehearsal. Okay? If you think about when we work through our dreams, we're working out issues, how to survive them. We get all this consciousness, and I'll call this our consciousness and our personality with our body. I'll call it wetware. I'm going to use some computer terminologies with it, so hopefully it will make more sense. So all this wetware,
Slow down.
huh? Slow down. That's what we're here for. So it's for survival rehearsal. When you think about what you come into this life with is your soul and your spirit vehicle. It's interacting with energy and spirit, and it interacts with the child, and that energy is doing whatever epigenetic stuff to mold you, to build you, to be exactly who you are, to give you a boost in information to get this life started. So you're dealing at a core, authentic, spiritual self. You're dealing with core instructions from your previous lifetime. You're dealing with things at an energetic level. You're dealing with your body at an energetic level. Okay? So, but it's also tied into survival, fight or flee, the most basic of all instincts, and it's here. So it's here in our unconscious that we are going to try to program our thoughts and how we program information so that we can make use of it in all our spirit travels, and even working with our wetware just for dreams. Okay? So that is a key component. So for all of this work, what is the most basic thing people tell you that you need to do? You got to have some rest. You got to have 7 or 8 hours sleep, and you don't want your mind and your body totally exhausted because that's an energetic change that you can't control. You got to take care of who you are so that this stuff is working. I burned a candle at both ends. Okay, so I'm guilty of not doing this. The other thing is stay hydrated. Water actually works with our fascia. See my skin, my hair is all standing up because I'm getting excited. All this energy right here. Water works with our fascia. Our fascia, Chinese said fascia, marrow, tendons, and they've shown that all the fascia aligns with our acupuncture points. So it's not nerves, it's our connective tissue. And I'm not going to go into what the mechanics of it is. I have papers on my website. You're free to go to it, download it, because they're all peer-reviewed journals. It's just not me saying it, okay? So it helps replenish your body so that it can actually function. And that's mostly yang type of energy. And it also works yin energy. But it's getting to that point. So getting plenty of rest, staying hydrated. The first thing that any book that I've ever read about lucid dreaming is have a target. Have something to absolutely obsess your mind with so that it's there emotionally, mentally, so that it's there for you to focus on so you actually develop it. Who's read that? Okay. Do you give it an energetic context? Okay, you do. Excellent. Because that's exactly what you need to do, because our bodies and our minds and our emotion and our personality needs a metabolic context for all this wetware to work. And I'll get into that shortly, because it's part of the concept of the exercises. So, beyond that, we need a way to link our unconscious, bypass our subconscious, which is the biggest thing that is a roadblock, and to our consciousness. What do we need to link it with? What's the one thing they already both share control with?
Breathing.
Yes. Thank you for not letting me pass out. I appreciate it. Yoga, pranayamas, all these things are a part and component of all types of spiritual work. I will not bore you with these things. I only have one breath to share with you. Just one. Focus on your nose. And just a sniff. The focus on the nose helps. It's an anger thing, but it's not anger unless you put it to it. Anger is a focus. If you go mad, it's unfocused. Mad is bad. Focus is good. But don't let it overrun you. Now, I don't have to touch my nose to do that. Just now, if you do that, that's great. If you go, you just turn into fight and flee, and you will drop out of your dream. You will lose the energetic, emotional context of that dream. You will not remember it. If you realize that the emotions that you have affects your metabolism, this is your operating system. And it's with that, you're able to remember anything. If you can remember the emotion of any situation, your memory will be much better, okay? And it's part and parcel of what we do spiritually to grow, because we get to our calm, collective self, we remember our old self, and most of us have some sort of traumas, and we end up living these emotional memories over and over again until we have to learn to not live them, but respect and remember the emotion and not live it. We train it into a new personality with new emotions, new reactions, new thoughts. But that emotions is how it derivative. The secret of it is learning to have your core, authentic, spiritual, central self at a calm state that manages this all, that ends up remembering that and all our past lives, is learning to get to having a real authentic relationship with our core authentic selves. Okay? So this breathing just, how do we turn that on in the middle of our sleep? What is the first thing you, as human beings, start learning things with in this life? Anybody as a parent should know this. And if you're going to go into any other plane, and if you have a body, it's the first thing you're going to have to learn.
Touch.
Our hands. The first thing a baby learns and really discovers is their hands. And they start doing stuff. And here you all are. Okay? So as a baby, you're starting to do. So before you go to sleep, stare at your hands. You can link it with the sniff. You memorize it. The whole idea is to train your mind to use that breath when you see your hands. Now, if you're going to go and work with heavy machinery and power tools, I want to be focused, okay? The same thing where I'm dealing with fight, flee, core, energetic concept of who I am. And I'm going to start, and when we're lucid dreaming, our subconscious is going to come in with all these symbols and stuff. We need to focus. So, practice that before you go to sleep. The hand technique, I don't know where I learned that from. The breathing technique is something I've learned from yoga. The next different type of yogas. The next thing is when you're actually lucid dreaming. Okay, now what? What's the first thing you want to do? You want to feel. You want to sense with your whole body, because you were talking and thinking in emotional references to energy in our whole body, how it all senses. Okay? I know that you've done the classical 4 elements in sensing the universe and the situation in the classic 4 phase of the elements. Okay? We want a feeling. We want the whole picture, okay, of what we're sensing. I'll guarantee you, you're not going to be able to do that at the get-go. It's a matter of waking up in the morning and making that your first conscious question. What am I feeling? Don't reach for your dream journal. All that programming and wetware is going to get in the way and fill it with symbols before you have a chance to feel it. Make sense? So if you can remember the feeling, and you hit the snooze bar, and you hold that feeling, like you hold space for something, you manage to keep that emotion live, you'll go back to that same dream. You'll have a chance to, because now you're liminal and you're half conscious, you're able to start processing that information. You're going to go back into it with a more conscious framework with the emotional framework and be aware of it. So when you're waking up, you're using this as a tool.
So is that not like occasionally I'll get nightmares or something like that and I'll go back into the dream without wanting to and I have to get up for a little while and do something else? Is that same sort of idea?
You're changing your emotional and energetic context, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, not a bad thing. Developing a little conscious framework. I sleepwalk, all my children sleepwalk. They will also exhibit poltergeist activities from their things. I have a lamp, make sure they have a lamp art. The idea of a lamp helps you wake up more fully, more completely, and allows you to change your energetic context. If they're liminal, they're sleepwalking or waking up screaming, but they're not responding to you, they're still sleeping. So the light helps, wakes them up, okay, and will allow them to go back to sleep more soundly. So I don't do that anymore. Mine's usually based out of stress. So that's just a thing to share. So we're waking up. How do we feel? Okay, and we can go back to it. And if you can hold that emotion while you're quiet in your core authentic self, and you start thinking about how do you want to look at, feel these things. Now you're starting to bring your subconscious and your conscious into play to actually examine it. You have to hold one, you have to hold another. You're going to say, how do I hold 2 separate emotions, 2 separate states? You've all done a classic Wiccan pagan circle, right? Do you all participate in supporting each of the 4 guardians and watchtowers? So you're already emotionally attuned, energetically tuned to things, but you're not necessarily living it unless you are the one that's doing the quarter. Right? You're also holding space for the God and the Goddess. You're holding space for yourself, you're holding space for the circle, and you're holding space for the working. So you can do this. There's no less than 9 energetic contexts you're holding at the same time when you actually participate in all aspects of doing a circle. Because I don't care whether you're in a circle or priest or priestess, guard, if you're participating in the whole circle, doing everything, you're all going to have a much powerful working. Okay? So the idea of having memories that you don't have to live, but you are holding space for it, and what you're actually experiencing. So if you think about it in that context, you're able to separate the two. And this is necessary to go further. So just to give you an idea of what makes you different, I'm going to say that all of you, witches, energy workers, sorcerers, shamanic practitioners, shamans, and whatever you want to call yourselves, you're able to deal with discomfort. You're able to deal with being uncomfortable. The person that doesn't will never traipse into these realms. The average person has 7 to 12 standard emotions, give or take. Think of them as an operating system. It charges up the wetware into a particular operating system. They have its own memory, has its own programming. If they're coherent people, they may have ported the memory to other emotional contexts, and maybe they're programming. The most coherent people do. The incoherent people that we know of that get easily tricked and emotionally sidelined and programmed, they're not coherent. Okay, I won't get into that. That's politics. The thing is, they both suffer from one thing. They're addicted to their ego. They're addicted to their personality of their wetware. They're addicted to knowing who they are, because if they're in a different emotional context, they can't access their memory. They can't access their programming. And it's so uncomfortable. They can be absolutely miserable for half their personalities and their expressions in life. They're still comfortable with it because they know who they are. Okay? It's so people who've gone through traumas, cognitive therapy, end up doing this spiritual work. Catharsis with shamans, 12 steps, you name it. Well, all these things is to transfer your old personality, your own old operating systems into a new operating system with its new programming, and you use it, your core, authentic, spiritual self, to make and make those decisions so it sticks with what's operating your wetware. When you do that, and that will also help you work with your subconscious, your unconscious, and dealing with lucid dreaming, and all the rest of the stuff we're going to talk about. Okay? So, that's lucid dreaming in a nutshell. Now we're going to start covering everything else. I have 2 exercises, and they're going to combine into one exercise. And I don't expect you to do it now because it takes many months, decades of practice. The first exercise is every 5 feet, every 5 seconds, sense the world. How does it feel? How does it absolutely feel in relationship to your body? Every 5 seconds, right here, the energy changes. The sun moves, the moon moves. Everybody's emotional context changes. Every 5 feet, every 5 seconds, you will get a snapshot of a 5-dimensional image of energy in space and time. And all you have to do is just still your breath. Just for a quarter, half a second, still your breath. is if you're meditating, you're holding your breath, you're examining your energy or whatever you're focused on, the body and your breath, the same thing. All you have to do is still it. So if that meditation practice and energy scanning practice you've developed is good, all you have to do is just still your breath just for a quarter of a second. If you want to get an image of the form of things, all you have to do is tense yourself up and then relax. Tense, flash in the environment, you should get a flash of the form. Most psychics and witches I know, they'll go in and they'll go boom, 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 because they're getting images of who's what doing what.
Is that the same thing as scanning?
That's scanning.
Okay.
I'm teaching you scanning. That's a bonus. Okay. So you're scanning, and if you relax, you get a flash of the form, and you relax, and then you feel the image, the energies flow. And if you're honest with what the energy feels like, and you know what the energy feels like in here, you'll automatically feel what essence, astral, that energy's coming from that is compatible to you. And this is key, because you don't want to bring in astral essence that's incompatible with you. Okay? That's not good for your health. Now, there's a lot of practices that do this, and there's idea of cost and energy exchange and this type of stuff. You still have to manage that. So this is part and parcel of it. So knowing what energy is compatible with you, okay? But you're developing the skill and your mindset of every 5 seconds, any place you go, all you have to do is still your breath, get an image and a sense of where things are. And you have to just be honest with it, with your body. What's you, what's not you. And this gives you a relationship with the universe as it is. This is brutal, honest work with yourself, okay? And if you do that, you will start having lucid dreams that will reflect all the shadow work that you haven't done yet and everything else. And then all the rest of this work. If you don't do this shadow work, all that mental processing, all that meditation, this will augment it. You will have to deal with it. I'm just flat out. It's beautiful stuff, but it will accelerate your learning. All right? The next exercise is retrospection. You know retrospection, seeing something from a different point of view. Well, here you're building an energetic, not astral, not spirit, not your core spirit energy. You build a light or an energetic model of yourself. You don't want to build it of someone else because you will attract things that are not you. I've done it. I got a story. I'll fill you in with it. You get that energetic form, and you develop a rapport with it, and use it to see things. Now, energy in this context only manages to get about 15 meters. Okay, that's about as far as you can do it. So you exercise it. You can make it fly, but check the dishes, check the bowl for how many objects are. Go outside, take a look how many flowers are out there, how many pieces of mail are on the end table, are the kids' clothes done? Oh, this is real hard work because now you got to tune off all the emotions because you'll obliterate your relationship with seeing things as they actually are. So this is making it work. This is more work, but it's awesome. And the best thing about it is you get validation. Go up to the table, check how many pieces of mail are there. What's in a bowl? Are the kids' clothes actually picked up? Is the dishes done? And oh yeah, you're learning how to detach from emotions because you have to be able to deal with this energetic relationship with energy. Make sense? The next step is to combine both of them. Next step is to sense and feel with that energetic body the next 5 seconds and the next 5 meters or 15 meters. What does it feel like? Does it fit the image? So what you're doing then is learning to tune in to that part of the universe in space and time. You're anticipating it. What you also have to do is let go of where you're at. Because you're remembering the energetic contacts of where you are. That can be an anchor. If you want to get there, you have to feel and tune into that next 5 feet, that next 5 meters, that next 5 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever you wish. Okay? And you're tuning in. And why are we doing this? Because when you're astral projecting, traveling, playing, or dream walking, you may not have a body. You just have your spirit. What does spirit deal with? Energy. Spirit. That's how you feel. That's how you walk. And that's how you have to think. All this consciousness, all the words and stuff, it's a nice handle to put on it afterwards. That's why we do that exercise of how do we feel? How do we think? We're coming back to this thing of thinking and emotions, because that's how our wetware understands it. It also changes our energy in our body. And it also changes how we think and what programming we can access. But it's here to say, yeah, we can call on other personality aspects of ourselves to process that information. So now we're not just single-threaded, we're learning how to be multi-threaded, calling in all these aspects of energy information processing, and we're storing it and linking it here. Survival rehearsal. We're teaching our spirit how to survive in the next lifetime, how to carry, process it, information, remembering places, okay? So now we're learning to tune into a piece of universe. We're learning attachment and detachment. This is a core thing in Eastern philosophy of dealing with yoga and energy and spiritual stuff. If you think about it, if you want to get on the other side of the lake, okay, you've never been there before, but you can see it. And you have your core authentic self protected and know who you are, you got the canoe. You have your intellect, your mind, your spirit, you have a paddle. And to get to that other side of the lake, we have to stick that paddle in 5 feet in front of us, pull it to us, and take it out. Attach, bring it to us, pull it out, detach. If you leave the paddle in the water, you're not going anywhere. You have to be skilled at it, but generally, if you leave the paddle in the water and just do this, you're going nowhere, or going in circles. And the general thing is the flow of water will take you where it will, not where you will. This is important because there are things and you're going to experience out there that will anchor you. I'm not saying 100% of the time your experiences you're going to deal with something that's powerful and does all sorts of weird things. But it's a significant percentage that you have to be prepared for. Knowing how to go someplace else, owning who you are, and not being attached to it. Because you get people who will influence you, you get attached to that, they manipulate you. You detach from it, they can't do anything to you. Same thing there. Okay? So this is excellent training for this life as well. And just to give you a hint, this is learning to attach and detach is Tantra. You can give all the Western or Eastern philosophy of it. Learning to attach and detach consciously at will is the essence of Tantra. People spend decades in monasteries just for detachment. So this is about, but to do this you also develop magical skills because you are actively attaching and detaching everything in your life. Okay? So I'm going to give you an aphorism now, just so that you have a sense of humor about it. And I know I come across a little bit hard and serious. You know how busy people, and it used to be a saying 10 or 15, 20 years ago, I have places to go. like this isn't important. I have people to meet. Man, it's not you. And things to do because I'm so important, I got to do it. I have places to go, people to meet, and things to do. As energy workers, witches, shamans, shamanic practitioners, sorcerers, wizards, whatever you want, I'm going to give you this little humorous way of looking thing. I have places to meet. Exercise number one. Things to be, because I'm tuning into that bit of the universe. And now that I've learned how to experience that next 5 feet, next 5 meters, guess what? If I can remember that feeling, I can emote it. There's evocation. There is also astral projection aspect. It's teleportation. You're tuning in the universe. You're drawing it to you and you to it. Awesome? So you get an energy signature of anything. You don't have to have a direct, you don't have to baby step to get there. Boop! You're there. It's also knowing where you're at. So I can be back in my body. Know where you are. Because until you're ready to exit this mortal coil, having a firm grip of where you're at and at all times, what have you, is kind of useful unless you want to physically plane travel. And I'm not good at that, and I'm not a good teacher at that. Someone else may be. Okay? I have to work on that a lot. So, and things to be and people to do. To do have an absolutely honest relationship with, along with all other beings, especially yourself, places, things, the whole world, and if not, the whole universe. If you notice, one of my core moral and ethics is about absolute brutal truth. Life, love, and truth and harmony. You'll find that on my website. It's just our website. It's kind of core to what we do. To honestly have an honest relationship with everything is the capital L-O-V-E. I may not like something. It's like I'll paraphrase Fiddler on the Roof. Rabbi, is there a prayer for the Tsar? There's a prayer for everything. God bless the Tsar, may him keep him very, 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 very far away from us. Right? That's respect. It's like, no, I don't want anything to do with that. It's bad for me. So that's me getting involved will make lack of harmony. So I have places to meet, things to be, and people to do. Because I think places and things can have a sense of energetic sentience. I'm an unapologetic animist, okay? Because I know. I don't guess, I know. So, let's go into astral projection. We got one more exercise for astral projection. This is when you do your body scanning, 1 cubic inch at a time, to know how your energy flows. You're going to build a template. This is a Tibetan Buddhist technique. You build a template no bigger than 2 inches. And you take a bit of essence from every cubic inch of your body, whether you use a path working, your own way of doing it, bija mantra, any way you do it. You build this little template. Don't let it outside of you. Don't let anything get a hold of it. Keep it inside here. I'm thinking of Joe versus Volcano, and the chief says, "This is my soul. I hope you don't lose it." Me too. This isn't your soul, but it is a direct access to all your working parts. And there's a reason why this template works. You build it. You make a very good little template of yourself. You keep it inside yourself. The next technique is to pick a working astral ejection orifice of choice, usually some external chakra point. Most people, some people pick the second chakra, A lot of spiritualists practice using your solar plexus. I have not heard of anybody using the throat chakra. I use my third eye and an aperture of Brahma, or your crown chakra. There are some people who will use their root, and there's traditions of filja and fetches and whatnot, and they are instinctual characteristics. Each place you choose has its own type of focus that's typical with normal chakra work. So that's something for you to figure out, but I would highly suggest pick one and make good use of it. I like using the third eye. And you keep it inside, not outside, inside that little that template. And you take loose astral energy, stuff that you've collected, not your core soul, not your core spirit vehicle, not all the stuff that's working to maintain your body. That's why you got to do all this prep work first. You take the loose astral energy and not other people's. I got a pet peeve about that. If that's you want to do that at cost, you're putting sand in your crankcase. It's an unhealthy thing. So, and that's why I'm here. How do you do things healthy? That's why you're doing that exercise of going out in nature and get what's compatible to me, so I can actually bring that energy back in. Because you breathe out, you can breathe in, bring it back in, and you can pull that energy to you. So you're going to astral project into that energetic shell that you know how to create. And you're going to push that loose astral energy through that template. It's a tuning crystal to your whole body, to your own senses, and to that energetic form that hopefully you have learned to create and develop a good rapport with. Now you have a better rapport with it. You're having spirit energy that relates to your spirit energy, because it's going through this template and it's getting massaged to have spiritual framework that it can be tuned into you. It's like a snapshot, just like you're doing when you're walking, doing that, experiencing the world every 5 feet in 5 seconds. Same thing. So you get it out there and you do that retrospection exercise again. You know, usually you use your body as a belt and bring it back in. So you breathe it out, get a rapport with it, do the same exercise, get a real good working hand line. Breathe it back in. Lock your own energy in. Hold on to it. This is a time to center. Be aware of that energy. Do that meditation. What's you, what's not you? What are those influences? As soon as you step outside, you've just attracted influence. You're picking up energies that influence you, that inform you to whatever. Well, you're looking for this information. Process it, but you do not have to live it. The moment you bring that influence and it starts living emotionally here, it's affecting your spirit. It's affecting your body. And when you got spirit that's affected, it starts negatively affecting your health. Okay? So this is so important to me that I want to keep you healthy. All right? What I did tell you about making sure you know where you are and anchor. What did I not tell you? When? What did I not tell you? Oh, and knowing when you are? That's kind of key.
I promise that.
Yeah, those who time travel, yeah, know when you are as well. Protection. I'm going to use a paraphrase from Captain Yellowbeard. Ward, shield, shield, ward, shield, ward, stumble, shield, 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 ward. Ward, shield, 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 ward. That's just my body. What about the astral projection? Shield, 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 ward, shield, shield, ward, shield, shield, ward, shield. Stumble, shield, shield, ward. Am I exaggerating? No. As soon as you have energy outside your body, it's a snack. Okay, if you don't have it warded, you don't have your core authentic self holding it together, having an integrity with you and the spirit, the energy, because being true to yourself and know how your energy's all managed and having that tuned with the same process out there, it's even freer lunch, okay? The whole idea is you have to protect yourself. And I'm not saying you have to protect yourself 100% of the time, because it's only like 5% of the time you're going to run into things. Influences, it's always 100%. As soon as you get outside, that's the next 5 feet, that's the next 5 minutes. The energy's different there. Is it compatible with you? Psychic hygiene. You get it in here, psychic hygiene, but you got to remember how it feels. So you can process it. So you know, is it you? Is it not you? Is it useful? What's the information? What was the energetic context that I learned that memory? So now I got a whole new personality aspect that I got to process. Do I want to live it here? Not necessarily. Okay? So, astral traveling. You don't need the template. All you have to do is energetically embrace wherever you want to go. Whether it's 5 feet, 5 meters, 1,500 meters, halfway across the world, it doesn't matter, in time or space. The problem is, you're also folding space directly onto the top of your body. You to it. Whatever influences that astral projected aspect of yourself that is tied directly to your body is going to influence you directly. So not only shield, shield, ward, ward, shield, shield, but that may interrupt your experience. Hygiene, 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 psychic hygiene, being aware of what's going on in your body, what's me, what's not you, what's me, what's not me. Non-stop. Okay? When I was younger, I used to work in I was a paid psychic. I worked for Shirley Ann Tabatnik's New Jersey Psychic Fair. I would always get the people that didn't fit each psychic's community, collective consciousness. There were excellent readers for people who fit them. I would get everybody else. I learned how to sidestep all being connected to a collective consciousness. Huh?
That was your training wheels, wasn't it?
Oh, I got some of the training was.
You graduated quick.
Let me tell you what happened. This is a key part. Because I didn't believe in pinging someone because I can get information because I budge them. I could exude my astral energy and go over and kind of meld with it. That's invasive. That's almost tantamount to rape, but all psychics do it, and people that go to psychics sort of get that kind of implicit permission. I said, no. Because I would dig down, find something in their core that people are not ready to deal with, their eyes go like this, and I scared them half to death. I didn't want to do that. So I built an energy shell like them. And I would ping it. I would have a relationship with it. And it would tell me what the person wants me to know, and nothing more. There would be something I could dig, ping, 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 and I'd be like, nothing. I thought that was great. Guess what? I can build things like this to go down this alley, down this part of the country, this part of the county. There's different reality streams flowing through here, which is not typical of Atlanta and other places. So if you get into a nexus of a whole bunch of reality streams where place changes, the energy changes every 5 feet in a dramatic way, and you can figure out which direction it goes, you're dealing with something that is a little bit more. And there are critters there that are even more, you gotta pay attention. Anyway, what happened to me? I became attached to all of it. My deja vu was 30 to 40 times a day. I know exactly what people are saying. I couldn't change anything. I couldn't change one whit. I could talk to people and help them elevate their circumstances within their reality stream that they're in. Help them shift. That's great. Me? No. I was like the bug woven in a piece of a tapestry that's never going to come out. Guess what? I had to go and take a seam ripper and start tearing myself out of there. I had dreamscapes, I had to dismantle pathways, I had to eat up every single one of those energetic forms. Because they also had some of my spirit with it. They also had spirit from elsewhere. I had to do this brutal separation. This is why I'm teaching, why I'm teaching this. Because it took me almost a decade to undo that. And when I did, I found a wife that bore me 4 beautiful children. I moved down here, I tripled my income, had a normal decade until I started redoing my magic, and I had a normal divorce, and and I'm happy with it because it's a reality. Okay, so there you go. So, Bill, what is it about astral projection? Why am I teaching? It's steps. Your chances are when you're lucid dreaming, you're going to start stepping into astral travel, and not even projection at that point. Your own emotions, all your shadow work is going to come to the fore, and your subconscious is going to infect your energetic context and drawing weird worlds to you. Now, so let me talk about weird worlds in a minute. Next thing is, what do I do that's different, and what's healthier, and what's a better technique? And you say, well, it's called aspecting. So what I do is I build that energetic shell, but I do not put my personal energy into it. I have it pull compatible energy from the world around it and develop a rapport with it. If a big nasty critter comes and gobbles that up, does it hurt me? No, just some of my time. Do I develop a practice so I can build that up like that? Yes, yes I can. Can I have it dance around halfway around the room? Yes I can. It also does one other thing that you might not think of. When you're astral projecting and you're bringing these influences back, there's only a certain limit of tolerance that your body can take for places. Usually you're dealing at a paranormal level. You're visiting people, places, and earthbound fey realms, what have you. They're all fantastic. They're all interesting. When you start aspecting, you can spin it in different ways. Okay? You can give it a different energy. It's like, I know some people who say, well, I astral project by amping up my astral energy. I get out for a little bit. It does one of two things. Because it's not compatible with where they're at. It collapses, and you lose a lot of spiritual energy. Or it's already focused to some other place and some other thing and some other influence, and boom, you're there, and you have to deal with that shadow work. Or whatever that person. And then when you have a phase shift and your energy drop, you're splattering this energy all over the place between there and here. You lose it. So it's a bad, so the thing is learning to have this type of control so that you don't lose this energy. Because the yin energy is wonderful. It keeps you healthy, keeps you intact. And it gets a memory, and you can make it do stuff without having to involve all your wetware. You just have that relationship and said, it has an honest relationship with the universe. Oh, and your soul and your spirit. So now you got this big, giant, massive vehicle, and this, I want to go there. And I want to move that there to there. And all I have to do is just focus here. It's a whole nother level of magic. But it's cool. Anyway, so now you're astral project. You're doing aspect, and you can assume any energetic context. You can assume any energetic form. The trick is not emotionally living it. If you let it emotionally live it, it starts affecting your body again. You can emotionally memorize it so that when you exit this mortal coil, you can just be about anything, anywhere you wish. And it's going to be at an intuitive level. So you got to have a good working relationship with who you really are and what you really want to do. Because this consciousness won't be here to... Yipes. Okay. Fast. Okay. Who here has dreams of things disappearing while you're walking? You're walking along, things disappear, and other things appear. Roads turn into gravel pathways.
Walls turn into doors.
Huh?
Walls turn into doors.
Walls turn into doors.
You name it. Okay. This, do you also put a circular deosil ward around your while you're sleeping?
I hope myself, yes.
Yeah. Guess what? You're not only bringing up earth energy, you're also drawing up underworlds. That is typical of underworlds. This is where I said 5 dimensions, space, time.
So the doors in the past are typical of the underworld, or?
Things turn, think of it like this. Time collapses.
Okay.
This is the 5th dimension. Where time, in an underworld, time collapses. Things can turn into other things. If there's other forms of underworlds overlapping, some of these objects can have multiple faces. Objects turn into doors, turn into wells, vice versa. Depends on your energetic affinity. Okay. All these things can collapse. You walk a path, things change. People who are dreaming and they're just stumbling about, they'll appear and disappear. It depends on where you're going, because your time path in the underworld is going to be different from theirs. If you're drawing down heaven energy, you think it's Wittershins. Well, it isn't, because if you look up and trace your hand, it's DSO as well. You're drawing down heavenly energy. Well, this is where time expands. Anybody have things where things like lights diffused? Okay? Where objects like trees have this amazing replicated pattern, water features are replicated, doors are replicated in buildings. These are overworlds. Okay? And creatures that know how to work them, you better respect them. I kid you not. The ones that can be conscious and step through all the different parts of the underworld, you better respect them too. And if they're coming after you, know where home is. Get the hell out of Dodge if you don't know what you're doing, okay? If you don't have it, but if you have control of it, you're going to attract all their attention. And if you aren't in control, there are things out there to feed you, from mosquitoes to gophers to birds and pan-dimensional creatures that like to travel these things. If you own who you are and you are truthful to who you are, have integrity, and the way you act will be impeccable. They might respect you too. Okay. So the other thing before we have, pay attention to time. Every plane, time can go faster, slower, skewed. Overworlds expand, underworlds contract. Also pay attention to plane. What angle is it? 360 degrees this way. You can deal with an upside down world. You can have things twisted. Some can be moving. There are some planes that actually rotate. Out here in the Piedmonts, there's nexuses. The planes go this way, and every band has a different speed. Pay attention to it. If you've done this exercise about recognizing places of energy, you know how to skip from plane to plane. Because now you can recognize where the planes intersect. You can feel that difference. All you have to do is pay attention and attach to it. Sometimes it takes a little walk to the right, a little left, a step up. If you pay attention to it, you can go halfway across the country, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 steps, and get back. And you're not spending a lot of energy doing it. And you can teleport, it spends energy. Once you got the signature replaced, it gets real easy. Okay? But until then, This is how you kind of trip along, okay? What am I know I just passed something, I forgot.
You mentioned at the beginning, day 1, 3, and 5.
Energy drop.
Yes.
When you're doing astral projection, you spend a lot of astral energy. You're taking up loose energy it normally has in your body. Most people do not know how to accumulate enough of it, store it, and what have you. I had a bunch of students like 30 some odd years ago. We went to a spiritualist church. And these people were like, in a dark room with a small red light, because yin energy will dissipate in light. Okay? Stronger the light, the yin energy. That's why you keep it here. If you twist it and compress it, it'll last in light a long time. But it's constant. It's a constant work. That's an energy work class. Okay? Anyway, they encourage everybody to put some energy into this circle, into this trumpet. Now, the head charismatic people at the spiritualist church, they're vampires. They pick up that energy. It's gone. They spend it fast. Okay? Almost guarantee most of them will have cardiovascular issues. The other people who are talented, the sensitives that were there, they held psychic space for spirit. They spent the energy keeping this obsession, not necessarily possession if they're going to be a medium, but an obsession by holding space for spirit and places, synthetic worlds, because you can mix overworld and underworld and angulars and planes, and you will have a synthetic world. Everybody has an affinity for one. And if you find that in a person, you can find them in an afterlife, like that. And you can watch them do all sorts of things and how spirit actually functions, and you learn a lot. Now, in the past 5 years, I've learned a lot. They're synthetic. But the energy drop is there, and the thing is, she's a low-level vampire too. It's an emotional reaction that you need to have an emotional exchange with people, so that this type of energy she's familiar with actually gets so she can use it. And there's energy exchanges and what have you, and everybody, and I'm not saying anything bad about this. This is how they work. This is what they believe. This is fine. I want my students to experience it and understand there's probably a better way of doing things, okay? So when you don't have a compatible energy and you spend it in a projection and you don't follow these energy methodologies, the psychic hygiene, doing the internal work to own what's yours, to be able to massage it, collect it, it gets in here and it massages your core energy and influences it so that it's not compatible with you. So you end up losing yin essence, astral energy, and chances are it's going to affect you in your health. And you can go to www.susciotio.com, susudio.com, or look under VEWR survey. Vampires and Energy Workers Survey. People have self-identified with all of their illnesses. The list of autoimmune disorders is amazing, and how many people have them. And cardiovascular issues and psychiatric ones. Okay. Hint number. This is part of energy class. Do not be especially careful when you're absorbing energy from nature, and especially from trees around people during the spring and fall. Trees dredge up human detritus. All the stuff that we lose in this, people lose every day, because this is not me. This is, and it's crystallized essence. They lose every day. And it's there. And trees suck it up, put it in their leaves, and expose it to the sun, and it goes away. In fall, it doesn't do it anymore. The leaves are dying. And hopefully, it starts going into the ground. Where you have snow, generally it's bright enough so that it makes it go away. Down here, you don't have snow. It finds dark places and congeals. Not the best thing. But springtime, until the leaves are fully bloomed, the trees are just churning the stuff up. So just be aware of it.
You ready?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I have cards here. Hopefully this, I'll have this video up here. Let me turn this off so that, because I made sure it's